Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another wonderful multiplication video. Multiplication. Sorry, just kind of working that one out. Today, we're going to continue to think about this idea of multi-digit multiplication. So meaning more than one digit, multi-digit, more than one digit, the things that make numbers. And we're going to be thinking like we've been using these arrays. Today, we're going to kind of use what we call as an area model, or you might also hear this referred to as like using expanded form. Here's the thing. It's exactly the same as the arrays we've been doing. It's just, that's really what an array is area. It's just a more efficient way of doing it. And we kind of talked about that in the last video. We talked about this idea that we were drawing out these models, and I was like, oh, well, how could we really think about a more efficient way to do this? So here we are on the building blocks of multiplication, right? Here's the next step to making this all sink in and make sense for the rest of our lives, which is really cool if you ask me, right? This is the idea that we're learning these skills that will stick with us forever. So let's dive in. Let's say we have something like 7 times 39. Okay, so first let's go back. Let's like rewind to what we were doing. What we were doing is we were making this array, and I was noting in my array right here I had 7 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I was like, oh, and up here we have 39. So it's 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we were drawing all this out, right? This was basically, change colors for that. This is like one row of 39. So I had to go through and draw that. And you saw that if I went quick and lazy, I was making mistakes. But like we draw this. Yep. We've seen this. Sorry, I'm trying to get through it. See, I'm not even lining them up very good. Oh boy. This one goes right there. So these rows of 39, and then we could count by tens, and then we could use doubles facts with all of these ones. I should have picked a different number. This is gonna take forever. And that is exactly my point though, is that again, how do we more efficiently do this? Because this works. I have no shame in what I just did. It just takes a long time, and I can make mistakes, and I cannot line up my models correctly, and so on and so forth. But again, I can go in and solve this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So each one of these is 70. And then each one of these is 7 then, because it's a row of 7. So 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. There's 9 of them. And then again, I could do doubles facts. So 7 and 7 is 14, 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 and then this 7. God, this kind of feels familiar. I wonder, is this the same problem as the last video? I remember doing the 7s like this. Anyway, sorry, that was really interesting. And then we still have this 7 hanging out. And then 28 and 28 is 40. No, 56. Sorry, I made a mistake there because that's 40 and then 16. Yeah, that's 56. 28 plus 28 plus 7 more would get me 63. And then 70 plus 70 plus 70 is 210. So I'd have 210 plus 63. And that tells me I have 273 is my answer to 7 times 39. Okay, cool. Great. That's what we were doing. And as you can tell, again, that took time. Good review. Let's talk about a more efficient way now. Let's think about this idea of an area model where I'm literally going to do the same thing, but I'm going to take away the modeling aspect. I'm only going to think about what I remember from expanded form with numbers. So I'm going to do the same number, 7 times 39. So let's take it over here, 7 times 39. Okay, now, if we think about what we modeled, right? I'm going to draw that frame again, but this time I'm going to like actually make a whole box, but same idea. And instead of drawing 7 over here, I'm just going to write the number 7 because I know the number 7 goes there. And then instead of drawing my 39, I'm going to make a column of 30. It's kind of small. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make my column of 30, right? So you notice like this time I'm not really writing the 30 here. I'm just writing the number itself. And then instead of doing 9 ones, I'm just going to write the number 9. And we can do the same thing. It's just now we just have to multiply and do those groups. Like I could sit here and put out all those groups like 10, 20, 30, whatever. Or I can realize the only thing I've been doing this whole time is just multiplying these two numbers. 7 times 3 is 21, but it's 10 times greater, so it's 210. So I'm just multiplying. I just literally did, sorry, I should have written it. I literally just did 7 times 30 in this box, which would have been the same, let's go back and look at it, is what we did here. That's what we did right here. I did 7 30 times. But instead of drawing that big old model, here I literally just did the math. 7 times 3 is 21, and then it's 30, not 3, so I use that 0. That's a skill we've been looking on. And then here, in this next box, it would have been 7 times 9, which is the same thing, right? Remember, I did 9 groups of 7. 7 plus 7 was 28. 7 plus 7 was 14. 7 plus 7 was 14. 14 plus 14 was 28, blah, blah. I did all that math. That's really 7 times 9, which is 63. So if I take these two and I multiply them, add them, oh boy, 273, which that's what we got last time. But now, instead of this wild work with all this modeling that takes up all these pages, I'm just using my digits. I'm not drawing pictures anymore. I'm just using digits. So let's expand on this. Let's expand, because this is expanded form, really. Let's expand on this. I didn't even mean to do that. That's so funny. But let's play some more on this. 6 times 48. Great. Okay, so again, I'm gonna make a little graphic organizer. I know that on the left, along the side there was 6, right? There's six rows. And then I have 48 in each row. Well, instead of making it 48, I'm going to break it apart. I'm going to expand it into 40 and 8. So my 40 goes here, my 8 goes here. Now I just multiply those rows and those columns, right? This is a row of 6 times a column of 40. So 6 times 4 is 24. And then I have 1 0, so that's 240. And then this is a row of 6 still, times a column of 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. And if I add these two together, voila, 288. That's my answer. Wow. So this is a lot more efficient, right? This idea of like, build a little graphic organizer, expand out your numbers, and then just multiply using that base 10. Like that's something we've actually already been doing. We already know how to multiply with that base 10. I don't know. Let's do another. Let's get crazy. What if it's a 2-digit number in the beginning? What if we have 12 times 9? Okay, rules don't change, right? Make the graphic organizer. Now, this time, I have 12 on the side. So instead of just writing 12, I'm going to expand that out into a 10 and a 2, right? That's just how I would have drawn it. I would have said 10 and 2, like that, right? But instead of drawing it, we have the numbers 10 and 2. And then the 9 is right there. So this top rectangle is 10 times 9, which equals 90. And then we have a row of 2 times 9, which is 18. So if I take 90 plus 18, I get 108. Again, much more efficient because I'm breaking it down by just a single like multiplication sentence as opposed to the big old model where I'm drawing everything and then I'm counting them and then I'm adding them up. I mean, that's the same, it's the same math. This is more efficient. It's just, I don't have to do as much drawing. Okay, let's do another one. This time, what happens if we have a 2-digit and a 2-digit? What? 28 times 14. Okay. So think now, like this is where I always like to challenge you, like pause this video, try this on paper, and then come back and see, like watch and see what happens. Okay. So welcome back. Nice job pausing and working on this. So I'm figuring the first thing you did was build that awesome rectangle. And we know that this is going to be 28 on 28 rows, which really is the same thing as 20 plus 8. So that means I have a 20 and an 8. And there I just divided that with a line, right? And then my columns really is a 10 and a 4, because that's what happens when we expand those numbers out, right? 10 plus 4, 10. Okay. Now let's multiply each one of these. So I have a row of 20 times a column of 10. I'm going to write all the multiplication sentences first. This is a row of 20 times a column of 4. This is a row of 8 times a column of 10. And this is a row of 8 times a column of 4. And if you don't see where I got that, pause this video again right now and just stare at this and kind of make sense. Where did I get these numbers to do the math, right? What am I talking about by these columns and these rows? Now I'm going to multiply. So 2 times 1 is 2. And then I have 1, 2 zeros. So that's 200. 2 times 8, or excuse me, 2 times 4 is 8. And I have 1 0, so that's 80. 8 times 1 is 8, and 1 0, so that's another 80. And 8 times 4 is 32. So now I have 4 numbers I got to add up to solve this. So 200 plus 80 plus 80 plus 32. So 2, 8 plus 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19. So 300, sorry, I always hate it when I'm like writing over things and it gets sloppy. 392. So that's my answer, 392. Like that's it. 28 times 14, 392. That didn't really seem as daunting and crazy when I break it apart. So this is the process of how we can multiply multi-digit numbers by expanding them out into these place values. So let's just do it one more. We're gonna do one more. I'm gonna go back to single digit because I just think it's cool to practice that. So let's say 8 times 27. Okay, so if you remember, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build that model. And then remember, we're expanding our numbers really. So this is my row, and 8 really just stays as 8. So I'll put an 8 over here, doesn't expand. 27 is a 20 plus a 7. That's what that means. So I'm going to make a column of 20 and a column of 7. Now I'm just going to multiply each row by each column and get the answers. And again, this is that base 10 multiplication. This is a row of 8 times a column of 20. This is a row of 8 times a column of 7. So let's do that math. 8 times 2 is 16. And then there's a 0, so I have one more 0 on it, so it's 160. 8 times 7, let's see, 7 times 7 is 49. So one more 7 would be 56, and there's no zeros, so I just keep 56. And now I'm going to add these two numbers together. 160 plus 56, it's a 6, 11, 216. Boom. There you have it. So multi-digit multiplication using these area models or this expanded form. It's just like, sorry, I'm gonna go flying back. It's just like what we did here with the model. It just doesn't take as many steps. It's when we have a deeper grasp and understanding of expanded form, right? How to expand out numbers, and then how to multiply those numbers like this when we have these zeros on the end of them, which we've done earlier this week, and it gets me to what I need. So if you have any questions, of course, keep asking, but try these out, practice them, you know, do everything that you can. I think that this will really start to click and help you feel really confident about multiplication. And as always, thanks for your hard work, and we'll see you soon.